Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Angie Smalls, and today I want to go over how the Diddy trial is winding down. It's so hard to believe, but everyone's saying, certain sources on saying, which I will actually go through online, that closing arguments are going to happen. In my opinion, they're saying it could happen as early as Friday based on the timeline, because today is Sunday, June 22nd. Sources are saying Monday, June 23rd, which is tomorrow, the prosecution is going to do their last day of cross-examinations. Then they are going to hand it over to the defense. And the defense has said they are only going to take 2 days. How does that compare? Okay, it's been since Cinco de Mayo that the prosecution has been going in on Diddy, and they think they only need 2 days for defense. That's mind-blowing to me, okay? Like, Diddy, you cannot be that confident. I don't understand. So the timeline that's being reported is the prosecution is giving one more day of cross-examinations, Monday, this upcoming week. Then the defense is going to give 2 days for their defense, and they think that Diddy will not take the stand, which I believe is a good idea because he would get drilled on, no pun intended. He will get drilled on the stand. So online sources are saying that the defense Diddy side will only take 2 days. So that would be all the way to Wednesday/Thursday. The jurors have been given their instructions on how to give a verdict, which I am going to go through right now. So there is this website here. It's called diddydocket.com. I have it up on my screen. And this has all of the court documents uploaded that you can view, and it has a lot of information. It has literally every single motion that has been filed on this website. So let me go through it for you. Again, it's diddydocket.com. And if you navigate it, it does have here this page, USA versus Combs. And it kind of gives you a breakdown of everything. So view witnesses. You can see here, pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys can see the entire thing. I hope it's close enough. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Okay, I made that there you go. I made that a little bit bigger. So here are the wonderful court sketches, and you can see every person. I mean, what year are we living in? We are in 2025, and we still need cartoons. This guy gets a photo. I don't know why that was decided. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did a call-in testimony. Let's go through all these witnesses. I mean, how many people were called? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, 8 times 4, 32, 37 people. Rob Holiday. I didn't do updates throughout this trial, as you guys know. There's so many people covering it that I have, and it's very overwhelming. And I feel like all of the testimony has been a little bit of the same. Everyone's just giving a different version of what they experienced, but it's all the same story. You know, they did, DRUGS with Diddy. There was parties, to me, it's just been similar stories, different people. And so I kind of checked out a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But since the trial is winding down, I thought I'd kind of just see if we could do some sort of wrap up video before the verdict comes out, which I, again, don't think will happen on Friday. How long do you think that the jurors are going to take to come up with a decision? I'm going to bet, I think they probably will have people that are on the fence. They're not all going to agree immediately, which is where most of the time comes into play, because everyone has to get on the same page. So, although people may have already made up their mind, they all have to kind of go through and compare notes and see if they can get people to all come to the same conclusion, which that's the part that takes the most time. So it's going to be interesting. We haven't seen any of the jurors' faces, so it's really hard to read how anyone is thinking right now. I mean, how long did they take to decide with O.J. Simpson, or I don't think it was very long. It was like, I think it was like an hour. I don't know. Let me see. I could be wrong. Let's see. Did it take to convict O.J. Simpson? I think it was an hour, honestly. Less than 4 hours. Yeah, it was an afternoon. I mean, we will see. I don't think this trial is going to conclude by Friday. I just don't. I cannot see that happening. And how can the defense only take 2 days? That is mind-blowing. That's not a good look. I would draw that time out if I were the defense. Because it's kind of like a game of football or any other sports competition. Like, what is the advantage if you go first or if you go last? And since they're going last, they will have the memory, the most recent memory for the juror. So I don't understand how they would only use 2 days. Maybe I'm highly mistaken. I am nowhere near in the legal field. That should be another disclaimer. I never had any legal training. If you are out there and you have any sort of legal training, you tell me, like, what do you think about this defense? Because it doesn't seem like a good outlook for the defense. But yeah, go check out diddydocket.com. Again, I did not watch or pay attention to the entire trial. Again, I checked out a lot because it was just the same testimony. I mean, here is a picture of Cassie and Diddy. Here they're watching the video of, Diddy dragging Cassie. Here is Jane Doe crying about Diddy. Here's another. Okay, so this was a security guy that did not actually take the bribe from Diddy. Assistant Mia, I think for sure all of these people were on the side of the prosecution. They all kind of told their history with working with P. Diddy and how they all kind of had trauma about it. So, I mean, that's a lot of people just saying they felt used and abused by you. Okay, but does that mean, are you one of the people that feels this is a slam dunk? I got to be honest, I don't think it is. However, I do feel he will get convicted because this is something that is so widely being covered that the jurors know this, right? This is a global case. They're not going to let him walk free. I don't see that happening. If he was an unknown person and this was going on like in, like Wisconsin, I don't know, name a city, some small city, and it wasn't publicized like this, I think he would still get convicted because these charges are so serious. But did the prosecution do a good job of explaining why the criminal element warrants being convicted of the charges against Diddy. Okay, so back to this website. I went on this page here, and you can review the case filings. Let me see. Let me check the court dates. Okay, so it started on May 12th, right? And then it goes and it has everybody that was on the stand. My favorite was Kid Cudi. I definitely listened to that one though, because he's dope. I like Kid Cudi, and he kept it real. Okay, so they have it lasting all the way through July 4th. I don't know why that's funny, but Independence Day, it started on Cinco de Mayo, it ends on Independence Day. That's pretty funny. But according to what's being reported, this trial will end, I guess. This is the last week in June, I guess. Let me check my calendar. No, it's not. It's the second to the last week in June. So it will go all the way, if it goes on to Friday, that would be Friday the 27th. And then there would be another week. So yeah, I think it's going to actually spill over into the following week. And that's what the court has planned. And then they're going to release the transcripts, which I do believe some people already have access to the transcripts. Let me see, view documents. So this is kind of what I was looking at before I started recording. If you go all the way to the bottom, it goes from furthest out to most recent. The most recent one is the last number, and you can see here the date, June 20th, which was a couple days ago. And so the last document that was actually issued was the verdict form. This is what the juror has received, the jury has received, and it has the counts, and look at how simplified it is. Guilty, not guilty. How do you find the defendant? Count 1, racketeering conspiracy. So this is the RICO charge. And we have gone through what warrants a RICO charge. Okay, so let me ask ChatGPT, are the infractions for a RICO charge? I believe there are 7 of them. One, two, three. It only lists. Okay. There is a more shortened version. I guess this is giving us the full description. I thought there was only. So examples. Okay, what constitutes a RICO infraction? Be part of an enterprise. He was the sole person, the sole perpetrator. So I don't think that qualifies, but I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Engage in a pattern. Yeah, that's true. He, he's definitely a creature of habit. He did the same things over and over and over, freak offs almost every night. And the predicate acts must be considered racketeering activities. Okay, that doesn't really answer my question. Let me see. Oh, let's ask. Yeah, ChatGPT has these follow-up questions. What defenses are effective against RICO charges? Yeah, so maybe P. Diddy's team actually asked ChatGPT. Lack of a pattern. Well, he doesn't qualify there because he did the same thing over and over. I mean, those 35 people that we just saw as witnesses, like I said, they all said the same thing in different words. So that was a pattern. No enterprise existed. I would agree with that. To me, I am on the fence. Yeah, he had people assist him, but they were all independent of each other, in my opinion. It wasn't like it was a hierarchy. They all answered to Diddy. So it wasn't really a network. So no connection to the enterprise. I mean, he definitely is connected to the enterprise because he is the enterprise. Lack of knowledge or intent. I think that's the defense, right? The defense they are going to use is that everything Diddy did was amongst consensual adults. And that is true to a point. I mean, what will people do for money? You know, they agreed to do things because it afforded them certain privileges, it afforded them certain financial opportunities. So I think that is going to be the defense that Diddy actually uses. I feel like there's already been rumors of that. What do you guys think that Diddy's defense is actually going to be? Failure to prove underlying crimes. You know, I don't think they failed to prove. The prosecution did not fail to prove. They definitely proved the drug trafficking, especially with their most recent witness, who was Brandon Paul, I think his name is, who was the DRUG mule. He said that he happily once a month delivered, you know, substances to Diddy for his freak offs. Entrapment, that didn't happen because this already happened before, you know, years ago. I feel like an entrapment is like a setup or a sting, and P. Diddy, you know, he was getting ready to turn himself in, you know, when he actually got arrested. So I don't think they really entrapped him into anything. So that's not a good defense. Overcharging or misuse of RICO statute. Sometimes prosecutors stretch the law to include defendants whose connection is too weak. Defense: argue RICO is being used as a scare tactic to boost leverage in plea deals. I would go with that one, overcharging or misuse of a RICO statute, because they could have broken down the RICO, the overall pending charge, into the smaller fractions. And he would for sure have been guilty of those lesser charges. So why they decided to just go so big with it? Is it because there was so many celebrities that could have been outed, and there's like all these secret deals, or, you know, there's a conspiracy behind this? So they made it larger than life by going so big with the charges. But also, I believe P. Diddy was presented a plea deal in the beginning and he turned it down. Like, why? Why would you do that? To me, that was where he fucked up, yeah. He turned down plea deal right here. Sean Diddy Combs rejected a plea deal offered by prosecutors in his upcoming federal Chimex trafficking. The decision was confirmed in a court hearing where Combs stated, "Yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. This means a trial, which includes jury selection starting." Okay. So details of the plea deal were not disclosed. I'm guessing they probably offered him 10 years. He would have did 5. He's actually been in jail already, probably a year. So he would have been out in 4 years. I mean, I'm just speculating. I have no idea. But to me, you're now facing, I mean, how many years do you get? I think each charge he's gotten each has 15 to 10 years. So the judge could be cool and like just combine his sentence and just say they're all concurrent. He will serve all of his time together, or he could be a jerk and actually put them consecutive. So, I mean, let's see what the judge decides to do. But honestly, the plea deal would have been the move, in my opinion. But P. Diddy is an egomaniac, right? That's his ego talking, not his sensible side. And the lawyers, they're getting their pockets lined. You think they want him to get a plea deal and then that's it? they get charged a week of time. No, now they get to bill him for 2 months. I mean, that's a way more bigger salary for them. You know, I hate to say that, but they're making more money this way. And, you know, and Diddy, they're acting like, oh yeah, we're just going to do what our client says. Well, your client is going to be lining your pockets along the way. Okay, so that's count one, right? And I can look up how many years is a RICO. How many years is a RICO charge? I believe it's 15 years. Up to 20 years. 250K. All right. 10 to 20 years. Tekashi 6ix9ine only got 2 years. Oh, wow. I don't know whose lawyer he had, but he got a freaking steal of a deal on that one. So maybe he'll have the same boss. I mean, who was the judge? Who was the judge for Tekashi 6ix9ine? Okay, no, that's not him. Different judge. Okay, so I mean, maybe he'll only get 2 years for the RICO. I mean, that would be crazy. And to me, that wouldn't make any of this worth it. Like, what the hell did everyone go through this for? Okay, so count 2, sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. He's going to be guilty for that. He's already settled that case with Cassie. He's basically admitted guilt. And the jurors are privy to that information. So he is definitely guilty of that. Okay, so he's going to be found guilty for count 2 at the very least. How many years is 15 years? 10 years. I'm going to look up New York. Damn, Texas is freaking 90. Oh, that's for a minor. That makes sense. Up to 25 years. Holy crap. I mean, that's even more than the RICO charge. Okay, so he's guilty on that. The Mann Act transportation. This is crazy. This is not looking good for Diddy. Because for sure he's guilty on that one. The defendant knowingly transported a person across state or international borders. We already know that because everybody on the witness stand has said that. 10 years. This is adding up to life, right? Because Diddy is already 50 years old, at least 50. I think he's like 55 now. You know, you're getting 10 plus years, 10, 20 years. You're out in 75 at 75. Like, that's a life sentence. You know, yeah, will he live another 20 years? Yeah, I'm sure he could. But what is your quality of life at that point? I mean, obviously he'll still have his money. I mean, I think hopefully he has it like put away in different assets or it doesn't get seized. I don't know if the feds seize all of P. Diddy's money after the verdict. Whether the federal government will seize all of Sean Diddy Combs' money depends on a few legal outcomes and conditions. Here's how it typically plays out. Criminal forfeiture. After conviction, if Diddy is convicted, the government can seek criminal forfeiture, meaning they take any assets tied to or gained from criminal activity. Okay, so he already had his wealth when he was doing these shenanigans. So I don't know if this qualifies. Maybe a house. So I think he'll still have his money at the end of this. Restitution, Cassie's already been paid. Will they take all his money? Yes. Thank you, ChatGPT, for getting down to the $1 million question. Not automatically. Here's what could happen. Personal bank accounts, if tied to crimes or proceeds. Okay. That could do him in for sure. Because it's already been proven. He gave his employees his credit cards. Homes, yachts. They did party on his boat, on his yacht. Business entities, if used in the enterprise. Yeah, I think so, because a lot of these people involved were his employees. Independent earnings. So this is where I think that the money he made early on in his career, he will still have. And if he is a smart financial person, he obviously should have a trust fund, which they won't be able to touch. Future earnings. And they could swipe that. I don't know what this little yellow triangle means, though. Yellow diamond. Real world comparisons. El Chapo. Government ordered to seize 12.6 billion. Oh, Bernie Madoff forfeited. But Bernie Madoff, like, screwed a lot of people, so he definitely deserved not to have any of that money. Diddy made his money off of music, so this is totally different. This guy was a scam artist. R. Kelly. Okay, I think R. Kelly is a really great comparison. Assets seized and earnings garnished. Okay. Ghislane lost her home and assets tied to trafficking. Final word. If Diddy is convicted, especially under RICO, schmeck's trafficking, or money laundering, the government could seize a huge portion of his wealth, but not necessarily all of it. That's what I was thinking. Assets are not proven to be linked to criminal conduct, harder to touch. Okay, so let's compare Diddy's, assuming he is found guilty of the only. I'm just going to say that part only, because I feel like that's the only part he's going to get actually convicted for. To R. Kelly's and Ghislane's sentences and financial situations. When is R. Kelly being released? When is Ghislane being released? R. Kelly got 30 years and a 20-year concurrent sentence. 31 years total. Projected release date 2045. He's got 20 years. Yes, he'll be around 78. That's exactly what I was saying with P. Diddy. Ghislane. Scheduled release 2037. Okay, so she'll be out in 12 years. And she got, I wonder how many counts she got for trafficking. Sean Diddy Combs, hypothetical. No known sentence yet, but convicted of schmucks. He faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I think ChatGPT is right in line with what I'm thinking. I think he's not going to get less than 15 years. Will he serve all of that time? I don't believe so. He'll probably be out in 10 years. But go check out this website. It has a lot of good information on it. And I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment. Shout out to you guys if you are a subscriber. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.